The afternoon light had that particular quality you only notice when everything else has gone wrong. Late November sun, weak and golden through the kitchen window of my mother's house, where I'd stopped to drop off her prescription. I was pouring myself a glass of water when my phone buzzed. A text from my neighbor, Rick. 3 words. Man, call me. Then a photo. My front door. New deadbolt. Shining brass where the old brushed nickel had been for 16 years. I set the glass down slowly. My hand didn't shake. My chest just felt hollow, like someone had scooped something out and left the space open to the air. I called Rick. He answered on the first ring. Dan, I don't know what's going on, but Lauren had a locksmith here around noon. Changed both locks. I asked if everything was okay, and she said it was just time for an upgrade. I thanked him, ended the call, stood there in my mother's kitchen, holding a phone and a prescription bottle, looking at a picture of my own front door that I could no longer open. I didn't shout. I didn't throw anything. I just felt this strange, settling sensation, like furniture being rearranged in a room I thought I knew. Lauren had no idea what she just set in motion. My name is Daniel Cross. I'm 51 years old, and until that Tuesday afternoon, I worked as a compliance officer for a mid-sized logistics company outside Cleveland. 16 years of marriage. No affairs, no gambling, no violence. Just steady, predictable Daniel who left for work at 7:15 every morning and came home at 6:03 every evening. Lauren was a part-time dental hygienist, 29 hours a week, enough to keep her benefits but not enough to call it full-time. We had routines. Wednesday was her book club. Saturdays I mowed while she did Pilates online. Sundays we meal prepped together, though together had become more like parallel tasks in the same kitchen. I chopped vegetables while she scrolled her phone. She portioned chicken while I loaded the dishwasher. Somewhere along the way, we'd stop narrating our days to each other. I'd come home and say, "How was your day?" She'd say, "Fine, yours?" I'd say, "Fine." Then we'd eat dinner watching whatever series she'd picked. I let it go. I let a lot go. When she rolled her eyes at my suggestion to refinance the mortgage, I didn't push. When she made plans without asking if I was free, I adjusted my schedule. When her sister made a comment at Thanksgiving about how I was lucky Lauren put up with someone so boring, and Lauren laughed, I smiled and changed the subject. The house was paid off. The cars ran. The 401k grew. I thought that was enough. I tried my key first, just to confirm what I already knew. It slid in halfway and stopped. Wrong pins, wrong lock. I stood on my own front porch with my work bag and a growing sense of unreality. The doorbell camera blinked red. I knew she was watching. I pressed the button anyway, waited, pressed again. On the 3rd ring, she opened the door 6 inches, chain engaged. Her face was calm, not angry, not guilty, just resolved, like she'd made a decision at some corporate retreat and was now implementing the action items. Daniel. Lauren, what's going on? She sighed, the way you sigh when someone asks an obvious question. I need space. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I need you to stay somewhere else while I figure things out. I felt my throat tighten, not from tears, from the sheer effort of keeping my voice level. Figure what out? Us. Whether this is working, whether I'm happy. She was wearing her yoga pants in the green sweater I'd bought her last Christmas. In the background, I could see our living room, our couch, the lamp we'd picked out together at Home Goods. Everything exactly where it had always been, except me. You changed the locks while I was at work. I didn't want a scene. You can get your things this weekend. I'll text you a time. This is my house, Lauren. My name is on the deed. Her eyes narrowed just slightly. Our house. And Ohio is a no-fault state, Daniel. You'll want to remember that. She closed the door. I heard the deadbolt slide into place, that solid metallic thunk of exclusion. I stood there on the porch for maybe 30 seconds. My heart didn't race, it just beat, slow and deliberate, like it was conserving energy for what came next. I picked up my bag, walked to my car, and drove to the Hampton Inn on Route 271. That was the moment something inside me went quiet. The hotel room smelled like industrial lemon cleaner and recycled air. I sat on the edge of the bed and set my phone on the nightstand. 6:47 p.m. I didn't call her. I didn't text. I opened my laptop and logged into our joint checking account. She'd withdrawn $4,000 that morning, left exactly $200. I checked the savings. Untouched, but only because it required both signatures for withdrawals over $500. I took screenshots, documented the dates, the amounts. Then I opened my email and searched her name. Found the automatic login notification from our home security system. She'd added a new user profile that afternoon. Name, Marcus Chen. I didn't recognize it. I took another screenshot. My hands were steady. I didn't feel angry. I felt focused. There's a difference between reacting and responding, and I was done reacting. I called my college roommate Steve, who'd gone to law school and now practiced family law in Akron. He answered on the second ring. "Danny boy, what's up?" "I need a referral, family attorney, someone sharp." There was a pause. "You okay?" "I will be. Can you send me a name tonight?" "I'll text you 3. Call Linda Hashemi first. She's a surgeon." I thanked him and hung up. Ordered a pizza I didn't eat. Took a shower that lasted until the water ran lukewarm. Put on clean clothes and sat in the polyester armchair by the window, watching headlights slide past on the highway below. Silence wasn't surrender. It was strategy. I called Linda Hashemi at 8:02 a.m. the next morning. Her assistant scheduled me for 10:30 a.m. that same day. Linda was 50-something, gray hair cut sharp, navy suit, no wedding ring. She sat across from me in a conference room that smelled like coffee and paper. I told her everything in 12 minutes, showed her the screenshots. She made notes on a yellow legal pad without looking up. When I finished, she set down her pen. "Do you want this marriage?" I wanted the marriage I thought I had, not whatever this is. She nodded. "Then we move fast, file first. In Ohio, possession matters. She's established herself as the occupant. We counter that with a motion for temporary orders. You're still on the deed. We get you access to the house, equitable division of assets, and we freeze joint accounts." "How long?" 72 hours for the motion, 2 weeks for a hearing if we push. "Push." She smiled just barely. "I'll have papers ready by tomorrow. Do not contact her. Do not respond to her messages. Everything goes through me now." I left her office at 11:40 a.m. My phone buzzed as I reached my car. Lauren. 3 texts in rapid succession. "We need to talk. You're being childish. Call me." I took screenshots, did not reply. Drove back to my office and worked a full day like nothing had happened. At 4:02 p.m., I got an email alert. Joint credit card charge. $1,847. Nordstrom. I forwarded it to Linda with no comment. The next 48 hours moved like a chess game played in silence. Thursday morning, Linda filed the dissolution petition and motion for temporary orders. By Thursday afternoon, Lauren had been served at the dental office where she worked. My phone exploded. 17 calls, 9 voicemails, texts that cycled from disbelief to fury to bargaining. "How could you do this? You're making a huge mistake. We can work this out." I read every message, took screenshots, did not respond. Friday morning, her attorney called Linda, wanted to negotiate. Linda told him we'd see him at the hearing. Friday afternoon, Lauren's sister called me. I let it go to voicemail. "Daniel, this is cruel. She's devastated. She just needed a few days to think. You're blowing this completely out of proportion." I saved the voicemail, sent it to Linda. Friday evening, I got a call from an unknown number. Didn't answer. Voicemail. A man's voice, young, uncertain. "Mr. Cross, this is Marcus Chen. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Lauren and I are just friends. I'm helping her with some tech stuff for her online business idea. I didn't know this would cause problems. I'm really sorry." I played it twice, saved it. Felt nothing in particular. Saturday morning at 9:15 a.m., my phone rang. "Lauren, I stared at her name on the screen until it stopped. She called again immediately. I declined it. A text arrived 30 seconds later. Please, I'm begging you. We need to talk. I made a mistake. Can we just sit down like adults? I'll come to you. I checked the time. 9:17 a.m. Took a screenshot. Did not respond. At 11:33 a.m., she showed up at the Hampton Inn. I was in the lobby getting coffee when I saw her walk through the automatic doors. She looked smaller somehow. No makeup, hair in a ponytail. The same green sweater, but wrinkled now like she'd slept in it. She saw me and stopped. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then she walked over, slow, like approaching something fragile. Daniel. I set down my coffee, didn't sit, didn't smile, just waited. Can we talk, please? 5 minutes. I gestured to the seating area near the fake fireplace. We sat in armchairs that faced each other across a coffee table scattered with travel magazines. She folded her hands in her lap, unfolded them, folded them again. I panicked, she said. Her voice was soft, almost childlike. I've been feeling stuck, and I didn't know how to talk to you about it, so I just did something drastic. I thought maybe if you weren't there for a few days, I could think clearly. I didn't mean to hurt you. I looked at her, really looked, saw the woman I'd loved, the woman I'd built a life with, and also saw someone I didn't entirely recognize, someone capable of locking me out of my own home without a conversation, someone who withdrew $4,000 and added a stranger to our security system because she needed space to think. You changed the locks, Lauren. I know, it was stupid. I'll give you a key right now. She reached into her purse, pulled out a brass key, set it on the table between us. And the money? I was scared you'd freeze me out. I just wanted to make sure I had something if things went bad. They are bad. Her eyes filled. They don't have to be. We can fix this. Counseling. Whatever you want. I love you, Daniel. I was just confused. I leaned back in the chair, felt the weight of 16 years pressing against my ribs. You weren't confused, Lauren. You were testing. You wanted to see if I'd fight or if I'd fold. You wanted to see what you could get away with. That's not fair. You're right. Fair would have been a conversation. Fair would have been counseling before changing locks. Fair would have been treating me like a partner instead of an obstacle. She reached across the table like she was going to take my hand, then stopped. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't do this. Don't throw away 16 years because I made one mistake. I stood up, picked up my coffee, looked down at her sitting there with wet eyes and trembling hands, and for a moment, I felt it, that old reflex to smooth things over, to make it okay, to let it go. But something else was stronger now, something quiet and unmovable. I didn't throw anything away, Lauren. I stopped pretending. I walked back to the elevator, didn't look back, heard her call my name once, soft and broken, but I didn't stop. The doors closed. I rode up to the 4th floor in silence. The hearing was the following Wednesday in a windowless courtroom that smelled like floor wax and old paper. Lauren sat on the opposite side with her attorney, a man in his 60s with silver hair and a tired expression. Linda presented our motion, showed the timeline, the lockout, the withdrawals, the new security user. Marcus Chen's voicemail played through a small speaker on the judge's bench. The courtroom was silent except for his nervous voice explaining that he was just helping with tech stuff. Lauren's attorney argued that it was a marital dispute, that emotions were high, that his client simply needed boundaries while working through a difficult time. The judge, a woman in her 50s with reading glasses on a chain, looked unimpressed. She granted the motion. Temporary orders. I was granted access to the marital home. Joint accounts frozen except for equal monthly allowances. All financial records to be disclosed within 14 days. Mediation scheduled in 30 days. Lauren would stay with her sister during the transition. As we filed out of the courtroom, Lauren tried to catch my eye. I didn't give her the satisfaction. Outside, Linda shook my hand. You did good. Stay the course. I nodded. Drove back to the house that afternoon with a sheriff's escort just to ensure peaceful entry. The locks had already been changed back by court order. I opened the door with my original key, stepped inside. The house was exactly as I'd left it, but it felt different. The air was stale. The kitchen table had mail stacked on it, unopened. I walked through each room slowly, touched nothing, just observed. In the bedroom, I found her note on my pillow, handwritten on the same stationery she used for thank you cards. "Daniel, I'm sorry. I never wanted this. Please call me. We can still fix this. I love you." I read it twice, folded it carefully, put it in the folder with all the other documents. Then I opened the bedroom window, letting in the cold November air, and I stood there breathing it in until my lungs ached. 3 weeks later, she signed the settlement agreement. Fair division of assets, no alimony, clean break. The house went on the market in January. We split the proceeds in March. I moved into a one-bedroom condo with hardwood floors and a view of nothing in particular. Bought new furniture, donated everything we'd shared, started running in the mornings before work. The first month was strange. I'd wake up reaching for someone who wasn't there, then remember, and the relief was bigger than the loss. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt unburdened, like I'd been carrying something heavy for so long that I'd forgotten what my shoulders felt like without the weight. One Saturday morning in April, I was making coffee when my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "I heard you're doing well. I'm happy for you, really. I hope you find what you're looking for." No name, but I knew. I stared at it for a long time, thought about responding, thought about saying something kind or cruel or final. Then I deleted it, blocked the number, poured my coffee and sat by the window, watching rain slide down the glass in clean, straight lines. Silence isn't surrender. Sometimes it's preparation. Sometimes it's the only honest thing left. If you had been in my place, would you have tried to fix it, or would you have walked away the moment those locks changed? Tell me in the comments where you're listening from. Your presence means more than you know. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe. Let's keep walking this road together.